Welcome into another episode of the Equipment Room Exchange. I am once again joined by Jacob Patterson, the man, the myth, the legend himself. But if you couldn't tell, we are sitting on this side of the desk, the both of us, which can only mean one thing, Jacob.
Yes.
Do you know what that can mean?
Yes.
What does that mean, Jacob?
It means that, well, actually, there's two things. First off, you forgot to introduce yourself, by the way.
I did it again. I'm sorry.
This is, right here, the glorious Tyler Tripodi himself.
Glorious
right
is
here
a little
in
bold, but
amazing pink T-shirt.
Let's talk about this pink shirt for a second here. Let me stand up so we can see this. If we couldn't see, it says "Women Belong in Sports," and the back of it. Can you read that, Jacob?
The back of it says Association for Women in Sports Media.
Look at that. This is one of the organizations here in the SMSC building. The acronym, I believe, is AWESOME. A friend of the show, Tessa Durrell, is the president, I believe. And she was selling these shirts, and I love pink, and I love this shirt. Big supporter of the women in the sports media field. And so I got a shirt, and I think it looks wonderful.
It does.
And I think you should get a shirt, Jacob.
I probably will at some point.
Good man. I like to hear it.
Anyway, we will
But
be
that's not the
talking.
point. We can talk more about that in a
We
little
will be
bit.
talking about clothes today in some aspect of it, as we have
accessories, perhaps.
Yes.
Our esteemed guest.
Our esteemed guest, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Zach Berger.
Welcome to the show, Zach.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's not bad. How about yourself, Zach? How are you doing today?
Man, I'm good. It's been a good day. A little bit of a rebound from the long day yesterday. Big day for Ocali TV yesterday. So bounce back day. Classes went well. Got to do some training today, and now we're here.
Yep.
So let's talk about that training you just mentioned. What kind of training are we talking?
So, Ocali TV, obviously, very well known for the Daily O.
Of course.
And so at the beginning of each year, got to give a bunch of people opportunity to be an anchor for that show. And so, obviously, five nights a week, we're doing a newscast. You need some anchors. You need to fill some people. 3-person desk. And so, I get to have some anchor auditions today. And so, I anchored last year, but they had to knock off the rust a little bit, if you know.
I get you. Sometimes you got to shake that rust off. And how did that audition go, if I may ask?
There's something different about returning.
There is. There is.
Last year you're auditioning and it's like, oh, this is big, a new fresh start, got to prove myself. And then this year, our wonderful Connor Bergen was running the teleprompter for me, and so let's just say we might have had some teleprompter malfunctions.
Were they malfunctions though?
Absolutely not.
The world may never. No. The world may never know. I was up there. I couldn't tell. They might have been. They might have not. I don't know.
They were.
They were?
Yeah.
You think so? All right, that's fair enough.
But it was fun, getting back there, reading the teleprompter again, and just getting back behind that news desk.
Yeah. I mean, past that, how are you feeling about some of the new faces you've seen today? Did anybody, really impress you? Were you surprised?
So I had class a little bit, but the few I saw, once again, just so much hope. Because, a lot of them, like me last year, I'd never read a teleprompter.
Right.
I had never been in that situation, so it's a brand new thing for a lot of these people. And you can, after being, involved in newscasts for an entire year, you can see the little spots of talent and where they can easily improve with practice. So, I might have only got to catch about 5 people. One of them, of course, Peyton Little, returning, absolutely amazing.
What a guy that Peyton is.
So, I mean, that was expected to see someone that good.
Of course.
But the few new people I got to saw, I knew some things they could work on, but, man, I could really see some talent and really see some future anchors.
Yeah. And I want to give a quick shout out to some of the new people who stopped by, because we didn't only have new people anchoring today. We also had brought some new people in to kind of get some experience in the studio. And, a lot of people showed up to start getting that experience. And I love to see that initiative. In fact, we've actually got a couple of them working crew for today's show.
Oh, yeah.
So a quick shout out there to Tanner, I believe, is upstairs on graphics, and I think we have Ty in the audio booth. So thank you guys. Big shout out to you guys. But moving past that, let's talk about right now. Yesterday, you said long day. What made it so long?
I mean, so yesterday we had. Obviously, you started classes, and then at 4:30 we had our first official Ocali TV meeting of the year. And y'all, I mean, you were there, but wow, there was this room, this studio. I've never seen that many people in this studio.
No, it was crazy.
I walked in And I'd seen a few people go in, but I guess I had missed a majority of them because I walked in and I was like, wow, this place is packed.
Well, I mean, and we've done I feel we've done a good job recruiting, going out into
yeah,
classes and everything. But I walked into this room and I had to talk to everybody, and I'm looking at this sea of people, and I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. I love it. I really
and a
do
good
love
mix of returning people as well there, but also it was fantastic to see a bunch of new, fresh faces. That was what I was really looking forward to the meeting.
It's no secret. Like, this is the beginning of the year, and things are going to happen throughout the year. Other jobs, other desires.
It's natural.
But when you start with such a higher number, you're bound to retain a higher number.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them seemed eager. I mean, obviously Tyler, news director, and you've been talking to a lot of them, but even just some random people who have seen me at these events now I've talked to, and people who are real excited.
Yeah.
And so honestly, my favorite part about a couple of these new people is, obviously you're going to have your, football's my thing, baseball's my thing, but we've met some cool people who have some cool interests.
Good point.
Yeah.
There was one girl, Tori, I believe her name is, who's big into MMA, has an MMA podcast she was talking about. She's starting to talk with me about starting an MMA show. So, I mean, more updates on that next week. Hopefully, maybe we can even get her on the show one week. But
I talked to a girl, I think her name was Jasmine. I could be wrong, but she said huge wrestling fan. And
yes,
obviously, I mean, this is a huge wrestling school.
This is the best wrestling school.
Let's bring that back. This is the best wrestling school in the nation. 34 national titles. This is the best.
Yeah.
Do not forget it. OSU, go Pokes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
great freshmen, great new people, and an amazing returning cast.
You love to see it. And now, Zach, obviously, we've talked, Jacob and I, in the opening show about kind of the new roles we've taken on here. I'm being the news director, Jacob, taking on more of a producing and graphics role. What kind of a role after that first year of a lot of success for you, and with Man Listen and everything like that? What kind of role are you taking on this semester?
There's some certainties and there's some uncertainties, and there's a lot of good. First of all, I'm returning producing my show with Steve Manlison that we'll talk a little bit later, and I plan to bring back my baseball show and continue to just help around once again, be an anchor for the Daily O. But as of right now, nothing is 100% set, but they're bringing back the sports report this year, and I will have a pretty big hand in running that kind of on the day-to-day basis. And then once again, our amazing Connor Bergen, he is he will be graduating in December, and so I've talked with Connor a bunch at the beginning of the semester and even into the summer about just kind of hanging with him and seeing how he runs things as the sports director, and really help maybe the transition process go a little smoother. Obviously things can change, but as of right now, it looks like I might be stepping into that role per Connor Bergen, and so right now I'm kind of by Connor's side and trying to help sports.
So one could say you're even taking on a role perhaps as, say, an assistant sports director, if you will?
Yeah, that's that's been the title. Tyler's Tyler. Everyone knows Tyler. Tyler's doing stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of in that assistant sports director role right now, and it's been a great time. It's been a great time so far.
Well, I love to see that for you, Zach, and I'm really glad that these things are happening because you've worked really hard for it, and I do love to see it. But what I want to talk about right now is something that you've also worked really hard on, and you were editing even today, which is Man Listen.
Yeah. So
let's kind of get into Man Listen a little bit, right? It's a sports debate show, obviously, with you and our own Steven Spears. But what's kind of maybe some stuff that goes on behind the camera we don't get to see?
Yeah. So to give some people kind of some background with it, I want to say come about December last year, Steve, our amazing Steven Spears, comes up to me and said we should start a debate show because anyone that's been in this building or in the equipment room knows sports debates happen all the time.
We even had one today, Jacob.
Yes.
I mean, what did we? Oh, we debated whether you would take Daniel Jones over C.J. Stroud right now.
Yes.
Right.
But to say they happen all the time.
They happen all the time, and me and Steve definitely have a lot of conversations. And he's like, we should do this. And I said, that is an amazing idea, but I am absolutely swamped right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing other shows. I am, it's getting about finals time. I'll put it on the back burner.
Right.
So then a couple months go by, and he's like, I really want to do this. And I said, yeah, okay, let's do it. And so from then on, we just went with it. And I feel like we had a pretty successful first semester, finding out kind of how things were going to run. And now we're here, just had our first show yesterday, plan to have some guests on like y'all do so well. And so we want to kind of, we want to get into that pot a little bit of the guest game. And but you said stuff that kind of happens behind the scenes. I tell you, listen, the camera always adds on some theatrics,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not all theatrics. I can promise you that,
Oh, yeah.
because these debates keep happening off camera.
Yeah.
And so we had a big one with Steve said the Saints are going to win the Super Bowl, and so that's one that has still been a major debate throughout the day.
So now you said Steve said the Saints are going to win the Super Bowl.
The New Orleans Saints.
I watched the show.
Yep.
I saw your reaction to it. I know you disagree heavily.
And it's crazy because, like I told him, I'm a Maine Texans fan, but
Yeah.
the Saints are also a team I majorly support. And I agree that, their division isn't the strongest, but they're also dealing with Derek Carr in a new situation, and we never know how quarterbacks are going to deal. And then even if they do win their division, the playoffs are a scary thing. Yeah. And the playoffs haven't been that kind to the Saints in recent years. And they're really good teams who make the playoffs. Really, really good teams. And I just don't know if the Saints can get it done in a high-pressure situation.
That's fair. I get that. I mean, Jacob, you were talking about today, if Derek Carr can even get back to somewhat of the level he used to play at.
Yeah, I mean, I think new situation can always change some things. I mean, I've got a really close friend of mine who's a big-time Raiders fan, and so he's a big-time Derek Carr fan. So he's been through the ups and downs. So I kind of have like a personal update of everything happened with the Raiders and Carr before Carr left. And so I know Carr, he's a good quarterback. I think he could potentially be like a Matthew Stafford type guy. I think he could play up to that level. It's just a matter of, when Stafford went to the Rams situation, that was a perfect situation for him. Is the Saints currently in a situation that can replicate what the Rams did? That's kind of my thing. I think he could do it, but at the same time, I think everything can fall apart. The Saints are a very old team by NFL standards, and so one a couple injuries start piling up. All of a sudden, the season's a wash, and they've only got 6 wins. So I think it's a coin flip, especially with the NFC South. It's a very wide open division. So
it certainly is a wide open division, and you see Michael Thomas, an oft injured receiver. I mean, one of the best when he's actually playing and everything. But even you go to Alvin Kamara, who is going to have to serve a suspension before he even sees the field. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens there in the NFC South. But I think there's going to be a lot of interest all over the league this year, and I think we're going to see some great debates continue on Man Listen about that. Yeah. I know you guys have touched on football. You guys have touched on. Okay. All right. Let's.
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take.
Hey, I was just saying debates. NFL. I've got.
Maybe the Texans will get into a debate as to whether or not they can finally get a good quarterback. But we'll see. C.J. Stroud, unproven. So we'll see. But I am very much so looking forward to the rest of the semester of Man Listen. I think it's going to be great. My one thing with Man Listen is when you kind of go in there, how do you get those topics? Just whatever's hot.
Yeah, it's whatever hot, but. I've done these shows before. I got my Man Listen show. Let's talk about it a little more after the break.
Sounds good.
I'm Kristen Hawkins. I went to Oklahoma State University here in Stillwater in 99 to 2004. I've always felt like Stillwater needed more family-friendly things to do, and we have opened up AR Workshop. We do everything from knitting blankets that can be done in a 3-hour class, and we create doormats and porch signs, the Christmas wreaths with our yarn that we use for the blankets. We also do, we just started a new project for gnomes, and we've done pumpkins during the fall. But our big thing that we do here are interior signs. Our designs are extremely unique to our workshop. Customers come in, everything is here for them to do. They create everything. They can be as hands-on as they want. They came in here to relax and have fun, and that they are proud of their project that they've made.
Well, how I got started was my daughter said, "Mama, why don't we rent a booth at the Quarter Horse Show?" And it was very, very good because, when you're giving your jelly away for free, people really do love it. But when you ask them to pay for it, then that's a true test. What makes my product so unique is the Scotch bonnet pepper. And the Scotch bonnet is a Jamaican pepper. And I had lived in Montego Bay, Jamaica for 4 years. So I learned how to handle the pepper and how to cook with it. I always say, you don't do this on your own. I mean, you have so many people that help you along the way. for me and for many of us, that's my name on that jar, and it better be good.
Welcome back to the Equipment Room Exchange. For this next segment, I am still Tyler Tripodi, and I am still
yes.
joined by Jacob Patterson, and we still have on that side of the desk, Zach Berger.
Hello.
Zach, thank you again for joining us. Now, I got a little too excited about Man Listen and some of the topics that we were getting into, and we had to cut. But let's continue right where we left off. So when you're picking topics for Man Listen, what kind of goes into that thought process? Is it personal favorite sports, or is it just whatever's hot?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because to be honest, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about every sport. Of
course.
So, I'm down to do some research, but a lot of time it is personal, but it's just a lot of, researching.
Yeah.
And try and find new stuff, what's hot for the week. And I go on ESPN, scroll through the news, and whatever seems like the best top story or whatever we can really get a good discussion on, I try and find. And then obviously take recommendations from Steve or whatever he wants to talk about.
Hey, yeah. I'm sorry. I was just.
No,
you had something to say.
I'm just listening.
Okay. All right. I guess
All
we'll
right.
continue in
Okay.
there. Jacob looked like a deer in headlights for a second. I got scared. I wasn't sure.
I'm
You were
good.
glassing over.
I'm good.
All right.
Jacob
Anyways,
looks red.
Jacob
looks
he's a little
real
red.
red
He's
right now.
embarrassed.
I
Are
am.
you okay?
I'm
Going
fine.
like a tomato.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Looks.
Tomatoes are good.
Looks.
Yes, they are. Yes,
Do
they
you
are.
just eat
Jacob.
raw tomatoes?
No, I actually hate raw tomatoes, but like the tomato sauce.
Well, I mean, tomato sauce, ketchup,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought he was eating raw tomatoes.
No, I
You
don't
said
eat
he's
raw
like tomatoes are
tomatoes.
good. I was talking with my grandfather one time, and he said he had an uncle who had a tomato garden, and he would just pick them and put a little salt on them, and then just take a bite out of the
That's
raw
crazy.
tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm not too big into the raw tomato.
No, I'm not a big raw tomato guy. Not a big raw
Anyways.
tomato guy. Let's go back to Man Listen before we continue with Jacob's raw tomato conversation.
Okay.
For your Man Listen moment of the week.
Yes.
Do you and Steve know each other's Man Listen moment of the week beforehand, or do you guys get to find out live on air?
So that has kind of changed. I used to make the graphic with what it was, but now I don't. Now I just say that we're gonna say it, and then a lot of times it's just finding out right beforehand. So that's real fun. It's good. They have, usually we try and do something that we're really passionate about for that week,
Right.
and something we can rant about and say, man, listen, and rant. So a lot of times we're finding out what each other's are right before, and then there's always some more details that get sprinkled in live that are real fun to hear.
What is your favorite? Do you have a favorite Man Listen moment of the week?
Honestly-
that you or Steve have said.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I think my favorite was mine week 1.
Okay.
Week 1, I did a Mike Gundy rant. Because it was right when it came out about that he has no idea when recruits are coming to the
Oh,
school.
yeah, I
and
remember
he
that.
doesn't
That
know
was a
about the
moment.
transfer portal. And when that came out, that was very upsetting for me. And I was like, week 1, we got to do a bang. We got to start with a bang. And so I deadpan into my one shot and I yelled at Mike Gundy for a couple minutes about having to know about his own program.
You think
for success?
You think Coach Gundy heard you?
Absolutely not. But if he ever does, I will not be allowed in any pressers.
That's fair. That's fair. So, I mean, based on the fact that they haven't taken away your press passes,
Right.
I'd assume he hasn't seen it.
Yeah, and that is a good thing, I
More
guess.
good news for you, yeah.
I'd love for everyone to see it, but if I do roast someone, maybe not them.
That's fair. You know what? I get that.
It's reasonable.
But moving back into kind of the dynamic between you and Steve. What was the conversation when you guys were making that show? Did you guys know it was going to be you and him on the desk? Were you just kind of bouncing ideas off each other?
Like I said, I think he just came to me, and
Okay.
I think a lot of times, you find your people, especially when you go to college.
Yeah.
I'm learning that now. You find your people. You find the people who are going to stick. And me and Steve just clicked. I love to make the joke. My 19-year-old now stuck with the 32-year-old 6'7" guy, but it's an interesting duo, but it's an amazing duo, and I love Steve. And yeah, I think it started with the amazing around here Pickle Fest.
Yes.
He helped me cover that, and from then on, we've just been side by side,
Well,
unseparable.
Will we see a reprisal or a reprise?
I was gonna
reprise?
say, will there be a return of the Pickle Fest?
Yeah,
with y'all
return.
two?
We're not fancy enough to use words like that.
No.
Reprise, whatever.
I mean,
I'm
let's
sorry.
just say,
Try to be cool.
let's just say, I would say, keep an eye out from September 20th to September 22nd on the Daily-O.
That
That's all I'm
sounds
saying.
that. But that sounds to me like we're gonna see a return of Pickle Fest.
Ooh.
Do I hear Run It Back? Run It Back.
I think it's
I
running
might have
it
to.
back.
You might have to run it
Might have
back.
to do a little taste test. I don't know.
Oh, taste test.
Because last time
Live on the Daily-O?
last time I interviewed people tasting,
Of course.
and I was like, how is all that? And I got a lot of comments from people saying that I should have eaten one of the pickles, and
That's
so.
true. I believe that was one of our comments, was it not?
Probably.
So
Probably.
it might even be a live shot on the 20th. That's all I'm saying.
You gotta find a nice crispy pickle. Let me tell you something. Get that nice bite to it. You know what I mean? Get that
Yeah.
nice bite to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
just a
know.
nice snap.
There was a
like,
lot of toppings, so we might have to
what
play
do you
around
top
with
a
it.
pickle with?
There's
That's what I was about
right?
to ask.
There's
That's what what
ranch
is
powder. I remember there was like
Okay, that
tahini
makes sense.
Okay.
and things like that. I don't know. It was a blur. That was like my first big package I did, and going out to covering that was an experience.
I'm sure it was. It seems like it could have even been an out of body experience, a fever dream, if you will.
I interviewed someone in a pickle costume, so that's big.
That is journalism, if I've ever heard it.
So yeah, me and Steve, we've just been yin and yang since the beginning. So it's been us from the beginning, and we said, why not make a show about it?
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's a very entertaining duo.
It is.
I usually work most. I think I've probably worked most of them, if not all of the Man Listens. It's always entertaining to watch because you never know what Steve is going to say with the Anthony Davis take or the
Anthony
Saints
Davis
take
top 5 is a little rough.
or anything else. Zach's Man Listens of the weeks are always good.
I've also realized Steve brings out a different part of me.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen that.
I don't know what it's called. Probably something not for the show type of personality.
Yeah.
But Steve brings something out of me when I talk to him, and
Yeah.
it's an inner beast.
Release the beast, huh, Zach?
All right. Okay.
Look,
guys.
there's a reason that man listen. Whenever I am talking to anyone,
Yeah.
I talk about shows we have on Ocali TV. I always say, hey, I co-host Equipment Room Exchange, but if you're really looking for a good show, Man Listen is what you want to watch. Man Listen is one of the most entertaining shows on this network, and I think we figured out why. It's because Zach releases the beast.
Okay. But on a serious note,
Clip that,
thank you.
clip that,
I-
clip that.
Thank you. I
Clip that, yeah.
appreciate that, though, because I do believe, I love y'all's show, but I do believe our show is definitely something that you need to watch if you talk about Ocali TV.
Now, and if we're looking to watch Man Listen, right, when could we do that? And where?
Yeah, we are sticking with the live format.
Good stuff.
We've upped it to an hour, and it's going to be Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central, right here on Ocali TV.
Wonderful.
Now, if I want some extra entertainment on the side and maybe I miss the live performance, is there like a
yes.
spot where I can see clips or something like that maybe?
There's 3 spots now.
Three
we
spots?
We had 1, we got 3.
Wow.
And now it's going to be my job to remember those handles.
Good stuff. Let's see if you can do it.
All right, TikTok. We just got on TikTok, brand new. It's at man.listen, no capitals, just man.listen.
Man.listen, gotcha.
Twitter.
This is going to be the hard one.
Twitter is also new.
Yeah.
I think it's OSU_man_listen.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
And then Instagram is where we have probably the most content because that's where I started. And that's OKState_manlisten.
Gotcha, okay. Now, I know I follow the Instagram and the Twitter. I am not on TikTok at the
I'm
moment,
not
so
on
I'm going to
TikTok,
have to...
but
I
I
guess I'll have to
do-
remedy that so I can see
I
Man
gotta
Listen
say,
content.
TikTok, I've only posted 2 clips, my promo and then one from the last show. TikTok views are crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not even considered blowing up for what I've gotten so far, but it's already more than like what I've got across other platforms.
Wow. So TikTok is really the platform to use if we're getting
Yeah,
into it.
yeah,
Good to know.
I guess it is.
Good to know. Well, thank you very much for talking with us about Man Listen. But we're not only on here to talk about Man Listen, are we, Zach?
Right.
No, we're also here to talk about you. And one of the big changes that you've undergone since last semester is the hat game.
Plastic surgery. What?
Whoa, yeah. The plastic, I forgot
yeah,
that too.
sorry,
That too.
sorry,
No,
sorry.
I was talking more about the hat game.
Right, no,
So
yes,
let's
yes,
get
go
into that a little bit. So obviously you're wearing a new hat right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So let's talk about this one first.
This one, honestly, one of my favorites. It came out with a pinstripe collection at a store called Lids, and it's a nice little Houston '90s throwback hat. And yeah, it's good stuff. It's been a journey with the new hats,
Has
and it's been a money journey, but it's been a discounted
As it always
journey.
is. A discounted journey, though. That's good. Now, let's take a look at the hats right now
Yeah.
on screen.
Yeah.
So out of these hats, let's talk about a few of them real quick. Which ones are your favorite?
So my favorite are probably my 3 most recent.
Okay.
The one, you see the one that I'm wearing right now, that one. And then I got that kind of maroonish looking one. I know maroon's not big around here, but it's got that brick red.
Yeah.
And it's a Bloody Mary. That's the line. It's got that little cool neon outline you can see around the old Open Astro logo. And then my third favorite one, also the Astro one, it was called the Old Fashioned brand. So I guess I like drink named lines of hats.
Yeah.
It's that orange top with the brown bill, and it's got the state of Texas right there, and the old star.
There you go.
So up the Astros hat game. Got a couple different hats there everyone saw, and so worked at a hat store for the summer. Got 40% off all my hats. What can you do?
Now, this is my, in my opinion, one of my better hats because it's a gift and I think it's really nice and stuff. What would you rate my hat? I brought out the special hat for our
Zach
guest
is
here.
about to destroy
Zach,
your whole life.
Yeah, I know.
Continue.
I'm about to get wrecked.
Can I see what's the back? Is it a snapback?
It's snapback,
Okay.
and it's got the old Astrodome logo right here with the basic, little.
Can we show that to the camera, please,
font
Jacob,
right
so that way
there.
everybody at home can see?
You got the Astros snapback right there. It's
stuff.
a
It's a
nicer
nice
hat.
I
you know?
really like it.
Yeah.
I really like it. I think that is probably one of my more favorite trucker hats I've seen.
Yeah.
I really like it. Obviously, there's different styles with these like fitted hats.
Right.
But if I was gonna go for a mesh snapback, I really like that logo and patch on the front.
So we
Yeah,
get
that
the
makes
approval
me-
from Zach.
That's
Look at
perfect.
you go.
Also, one thing I'd also like to add, I like your shirt. It's a very
Thank you.
nice shirt with the elegant logo with a very
you.
elegant team on there.
I appreciate
so,
it. It's
so yeah,
gotta rep the hometown.
Yeah,
so
of course.
always got to do it.
Yeah.
Shameless, the
Houston
both of
on
you.
Houston.
The both of you. Shameless.
Let's go. Go Texans, go Stros.
Whatever,
Anyway,
whatever. Here's the thing. Now, Zach, one last question about the hats. When you go and you get a new hat and you're picking out a hat, what exactly are you looking for? Are you just looking for something that pops, or is there a certain style?
It changed. Originally, it was just like, that was a cool hat. And now that I've started to kind of build up a little resume with it, it's now kind of what I don't have, right? And more of what can go good with the collection, but can also go good with different outfits. I'm not one to buy one hat for one outfit. I don't got that kind of money.
Right.
So I'm looking for something that, I could put a couple pants or a couple shirts with that hat.
Multi-use kind of deal.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got you.
yeah,
I got you. Okay.
100%.
And is there a color scheme that you always try and go for?
It seems like blue because I got this one and the Expos one, blue and then orange just because now Oklahoma State. I got so much orange OSU gear.
That's fair. That's fair. I think all three of us have collected a whole bunch of orange.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at a campus with America's brightest orange, so why not? Why not? Why wouldn't you?
of course.
Jacob, do you have a favorite piece of orange you've collected?
favorite piece of orange. I've gotten a lot. I have an orange hoodie that I like, or an OSU hoodie. I have a couple. Actually, my favorite OSU shirts are probably black, but there's a couple good OSU hats that I like.
Good stuff.
I have a property of Oklahoma State shirt I like.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I love hearing about the apparel, and we can get more into it after this.
Pure Skin and Aesthetics is Stillwater's premier medical spa, offering a wide range of services to help you look and feel your best. Our experienced team is led by Dr. Jessica and registered nurse Shelby. From facials to filler, Botox to laser treatments, we have the perfect solution for you. There's never been a better time to treat yourself. We have a special offer of 10% off all new clients when you mention this ad. Book your appointment today at pureskinstillwater.com to learn more.
Nitro Circus is ready to raise the roof for its epic 20th anniversary tour. The most explosive live show on the planet is coming to Oklahoma City on October 20th. Expect freestyle motocross and BMX Big Air, along with crazy contraptions, action sports icons, and special guests you can't miss. Come join us for 20 years of Nitro Circus, Friday, October 20th at Paycom Center. This controlled chaos will blow your mind. Tickets on sale now at paycomcenter.com.
Pecans are staple to Oklahoma. In fact, many of our native pecans come from trees that are older than Oklahoma statehood.
My father's the one that got us started into the pecan picking. I was probably 10 or 12 years old, and we started off with one little mechanical picker that you pulled behind a four-wheeler. Then we'd go home at night and we'd clean them on a TV tray. I guess watching my dad work hard when we were young, and people started trusting him and getting more and more groves, we just kept growing.
Being a relatively new and fresh company, we get to sit in the same room with people who have been a part of the Oklahoma economy for decades.
It's opened a lot of doors. It's gave us quite a bit of exposure, and I think people, will take a small company like us a little more serious. We're just going to continue growing as long as our community lets us and our customers keep on buying, and we'll see where it takes us.
Welcome back to the Equipment Room Exchange. Still with me here is Jacob Patterson, and across the table is our own Zach Berger.
And still with the two of us, me and Zach, we've got Tyler Tripodi right here.
Thank you.
In the
Oh,
amazing pink shirt.
Oh yeah.
There's no need.
Tyler
There's no need.
Tripodi.
Let's calm down.
Boss
with that.
man.
Let's definitely not do that. Let's definitely not
News
do that.
director Tyler Tripodi.
The boss himself.
This is what I deal with when I go home every day, because I live with these two.
Yeah,
And
that's-
every day I go home, I get to walk in and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go start cooking dinner. Yeah, boss man. Like, no.
That's what we haven't talked about. We're living together.
That's
this
true.
year.
We are living together this year.
yes.
So let's
The
talk about that.
trio.
We've got the three of us under the same roof, which has gone well so far.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
I've been cooking dinners, and I think they've come out okay. How do we feel?
Of course, no complaints
Absolutely
here.
complaints?
No
amazing.
complaints.
All
Yeah,
right.
they're great.
Fresh cooked dinner in college? Are you
I
kidding
know.
me? I'll
Yeah.
take that every day.
We got a little
course.
chicken, rice, and potatoes tonight, but tomorrow night is one of my favorite dishes. I'm making my chicken Alfredo pizza. Very excited. Very excited.
That'll be good.
We've got a big face from Peyton over there. It looks like he may want some chicken Alfredo pizza.
I mean, Peyton, we've been trying to invite you over, so
We have,
tomorrow
we
might
have,
be the
but
night.
Maybe Peyton comes over tomorrow night. We don't know yet.
But it's been good. It's been good. Almost didn't happen.
Almost didn't. No, you're
We
right.
called a little audible in the
It was
huddle.
definitely an audible there.
At the end of last year.
The
and
last, pretty much like
It
the
was
last
pre-
week.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, we got into the game so late that when we signed the lease on this
We're like
place,
the
there was
last
there was
person.
2 units left in the entire complex.
Yeah.
Because it was late game. We all kind of were like, hey, we don't really want to live on campus. Zach had another living situation that he wasn't really thrilled with, and I was like, guys, why don't we just solve a couple problems at once here? Let's all just live together.
Yeah.
And it's worked out well so
Mission
far.
accomplished.
No, it's been really good. It's nice. I mean, do we have to see each other every day?
Yes.
But it's been nice. I think it's nice to live with people you work with.
Yeah.
Like, we were already gonna have to see each other every day in this building, and so it's nice when we can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Exactly.
And I know I'm living with people I like, so
That's true. That's true.
I think it's gonna work out, and especially y'all, we're in this for the long haul here at
We
O'Callaghan
are.
TV.
We
So it's
Got
good.
a couple years left in the old time here.
It's good to be interlocked with the people you're riding it out with.
It certainly is. It certainly is. I mean, I've enjoyed it. Jacob, what's your favorite part about living under the same roof as us?
It's
He doesn't have one. He
I
doesn't-
I enjoy the time because I lived by myself
now.
last year. I lived by myself last year, so once I'd leave this building, I'd go back and I would just be by myself for the rest of the evening most of the time. And so, it's fun to, get to, we all go back to the same place and, we all get to spend some time with each other. Of
course.
We get to watch some Little League baseball we've gotten
That's true,
to
we
watch.
did.
We watched the end of the Ravens preseason streak.
We watched that questionable ESPN 30 for 30.
Yes.
Yeah, do you
That
remember
was
this?
bizarre.
It was called, what was it? It was
It was
like
Kirkland one?
little big men. That's what it was
Yeah.
called. Little big men.
because it was about some small town team that
It was
won
about
the
Kirkland, Washington, I think.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
won the 1982 Little League World Series on the back of a pitcher, Corey Webster.
and that's cool.
Great story.
But, like-
However, the camera work was
As media
interesting.
majors, it really stood out
It
to us.
hurt.
It was already rough to begin with, but as media majors, it really, really hurt.
They
Just-
also looked like they were in the back rooms.
They did.
looked
They
like
looked like
they
they were
were
in
in
the
the
back rooms.
back
It was a very
rooms.
dimly lit, like cafeteria almost.
Yeah.
And then they'd be on a Zoom call, and as soon as somebody would start, getting emotional, maybe a tear would start coming out, all of a sudden the camera would zoom in on the Zoom call, and it would just be like
Yes.
right on their eyes, like right here, and it just, I don't know, it was weird.
Very
It was weird.
questionable. We also got to watch the unfortunate demise of, I think it was Solomon Renfro last
Yes, Professional Fighters League last night,
PFL.
PFL.
American
We
lost.
watched Solomon Renfro. I'll say this: he took the fight on 12 days' notice.
Yeah.
All right, so I give him credit,
don't
and I know you don't.
If you strut like that into my dude, I'm
Here's the
telling
thing.
you, he was
Do you need to
walking,
get up and show
walking
it?
into the arena.
Jack's gonna
like,
get up and give us a demonstration.
Like, I'm talking. He was like this. He was like,
That is true. That's exactly what he
That
was
is
doing.
exactly what
He
happened.
got whooped.
Yeah.
Okay,
it was not
he got
close.
whooped, but he showed toughness. He showed resilience. The problem is that he strutted like that. If he hadn't strutted like that, I
Yeah,
think
it'd
we'd
be
be
fine.
having a different
We wouldn't even
conversation
be
here.
talking about
No,
this,
we
probably.
wouldn't. But it's just I don't know.
It's been a good year so far.
has,
Living.
it has.
It's been only a week or two,
Yeah,
but
it's been a week.
It's been good.
It has only been a week. I feel like it's been more than a week.
Nope. We all got there last Friday.
I feel like I've
We all-
aged
it's
probably a
Thursday.
year already,
Yeah.
so it's
This
gonna be a
week
long
has been
one.
a long.
It's been a long week. A lot of crewmen, a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But wow. All right, so only a week. So we'll keep updates on that. Wow, that I'm still shocked by that. It really has only been a
Yeah,
week.
I mean, it really almost hasn't really been a full week necessarily. Because
Yeah, tomorrow's a full
tomorrow
week,
is pretty much the full week.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. It's been.
Tyler's just taking it in right
Tyler-
now.
I do have to
taking
say,
it all
out
in
of
right
the
now.
long week though, one of the better parts about it has been going back to the place.
That's
and getting
true.
to relax.
It's been
at the
great.
end of
Just
the
kind of
night.
laying out on the couches, throwing on
Yeah.
some sports and
Some
just chilling
sports.
out.
So
having a nice
I
dinner.
would have to say that.
Yeah, but it has been great. But let's, Zach. Obviously, you're here for us to talk about you, right? So let's
guess so.
let's talk about you. You know, a lot of people know you as this fun, kind of charismatic guy. You've got a great personality. You make everybody laugh, and you've got your own show and everything. But you know, there's been some events that have led to that. And you know, you're a very interesting person past that. So maybe let's
I'm sorry. It was a really, really good lead-in.
Yeah.
try and give
It
him
was
like
really-
a
it
great
was really
intro and a
good.
lead in. He
Beautiful.
starts
It was-
laughing at
It
it.
was beautiful.
Terrible.
It just now it makes me sound like you were like you're known as this fun guy, but
It's not a but. It's not a but. It's an and. It's an addition
but
to
it
it.
just sounds like okay. Anyways, yeah.
Zach, you're a great guy.
Thank
Fun,
you.
charismatic,
I
amazing.
appreciate it.
And you have this whole interesting side to your life that none of us have really heard all that much about. I mean, you are, if I'm not mistaken, and memory serves, you are the spokesperson for charity, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I started a charity.
You started a charity.
I
So
started a charity.
let's talk about that. What charity did you
Okay,
start?
so yeah, here we go. Get into the whole life of Zach Berger here.
Bergie B.
So I was born with a birth defect called lymphatic malformation. Sciencey terms, I have thousands of microcystic cysts in my tongue, neck, and jaw area. But to kind of shorten it, the cysts swell and they block my lymphatic system. And for me, it affects people like legs and arms a lot. But for me, it causes my tongue. It's really been an effect for my tongue to swell. And I've had 8 surgeries before I was 12 years old, all on my tongue. And the biggest I want to jump to their 1 shot real quick because I want to, or no, 2 shot. Go to 2 shot. Sorry about that, Devin. Biggest was when I was 11. I had a tongue reduction surgery where they actually took a slit out the middle of my tongue and they sewed the 2 sides back together.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a lot. Had that on the 4th of July. Fun fact. But yeah, tongue reduction surgery. That was my 8th surgery on my tongue. Last one to recent date. And yeah, a lot of speech therapy after that. And, you know, the day-to-day was just my tongue would swell up. And the reason I got that surgery is because actually when my tongue would swell up beforehand, it was so big I physically could not keep it in my mouth. So like, you know, drying up, scabs, all that stuff, you know, couldn't eat solids. And the hardest part about it was we didn't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, we still don't know why.
Right.
But it's just completely random. Lymphatic disease is kind of common. It is pretty common, but there's just really no money backed in research. So it's hard when you're going to your specialist doctor and we ask questions and he says, I don't know. And that's the most common response you're going to get. I don't know why. Why it swells or why it gets better. So I grew up with that real rough till about 12, where swell up out of my mouth. Can't control it. That is what it is. Had a tongue reduction surgery, and now luckily after that, when my tongue does hurt or swell up, I can still keep it in my mouth, still continue with my day. It's painful, but I continue. So yeah, just have some lines and bumps and bruises along my tongue. Still kind of bigger than your average person's tongue.
Yeah.
But yeah, when around that age, me and my family talked about it. Always looking for help. There's an organization called the Lymphatic Education and Research Network I grew up with called LEARN, and they do lymphedema and lymphatic disease. And so they focus a lot on the lymphedema side, but not really on the lymphatic side. Mm-hmm. And so around that age, I was like, there should be more focus on lymphatic malformation. And so me and my family decided to start Zach's Attack for a Cure. And we started a website, started doing charity events, raising a bunch of money. I got to be on our local news station one time, talk about it. We hosted something called a hit-a-thon, where people paid to hit some balls out of field. We had some people come out, real fun. But a bunch of charity events and just trying to create more awareness for lymphatic malformation. And so for me, my big thing is, if you look up lymphatic malformation and you look at pictures, it's rough. It's real rough. And I have been very lucky. I dealt with a very lucky hand compared to these other people with lymphatic malformation. And so how I saw it and how I see it is I have a chance to be a voice for those people who are voiceless and can't, physically cannot be a voice for change. And so I've done a bunch of charity events. I'm a youth ambassador, and I won a Courage Award last year for that Learn organization. And as of last year, Zach's Attack is officially a branch of Learn, officially part of that nonprofit organization. And so, yeah, born and raised with it, gonna have it my whole life. I don't think we'll, find a cure in my lifetime. Probably not. But I just hope to make a difference and help that next person who can't, go on with their day-to-day life like I'm able to do.
So now, what does it mean to you to have gone from that 11-year-old who you're being told, hey, you need this tongue reduction surgery, and we don't know why, and you really don't have those answers, and going from that kind of like, I guess kind of that helpless point in your life to coming to today when you've won this Courage Award and you are a voice for so many?
Yeah, no, I mean, it means a lot. With that surgery, it was mainly for my comfort. I needed it, but it was mainly a comfort thing. And after that, they told me he's going to learn how to talk again. Luckily, it wasn't that bad. I knew I picked it up, but yeah, it means a lot. I mean, I've gone through a lot of trouble, and now past that, I just feel like. Part of it doing sports media now, it's like I've already feel like I've gone through so much where why not go chase the dream?
Of course.
Yeah.
And also I think it'd be pretty cool if someone who's gone through all this stuff with his tongue and has a literal birth defect on his tongue to speak for a living. I think that'd be a pretty cool, stick it scenario. And so, yeah, I think it means a lot. Like I said, I've gone through a lot, but I'm nowhere near as worse as some of the peers I know and some of the amazing people I've met through Zach's Attack. And yeah, I think just being able to be there for people is really, really cool and really important.
Zach, I talk a lot about, and it's one of the things I say is you have to play the cards that you're dealt. And you, I think, are a prime example of taking the cards that you're dealt and just going and absolutely running with it.
Appreciate it.
And I think it's inspiring for us, to sit here and to live with you and to be able to live with that kind of courage, and to sit here across the table with that. What are some of the things you've heard from people about, what kind of an impact you've had on them?
Yeah, I think, a big thing too is like a lot of people, before you tell them, they don't know.
Yeah.
And it's something, like, tell them like, wow, I would have never guessed. And that's pretty cool. But I think, I don't think of myself as some huge impact person. I think I can inspire people, and I've done a lot of public speaking through that. But I think the thing is, I can just prove that, whatever stuff will hold you back always through life, no matter how severe or tiny it is. But there's always going to be a way to, be able to push through and persevere. Yeah. My big thing is turn your adversity into power. Life sucks. It really does.
Yeah.
But you got to fight through it. And you, like you said, play the cards you were dealt and just take your adversity, turn to power and persevere.
That is really inspiring, Zach. And we can continue talking about the cards that you were dealt right after this.
Our state is one of the most beautiful and unique states in the USA. With diverse geographies, the historic Route 66, unforgettable restaurants, and some of the greatest people on the planet. With so much to see and so much to do, living in Oklahoma means one of the best vacation spots is right in our own backyard. Doesn't this story need to be told? As filmmakers and photographers based right here in Oklahoma, we thought so. And hey, who doesn't like a good road trip? So, we packed up our cameras, teamed up with Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell and the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department, and that's how this series was born. We want to show you why traveling within the great state of Oklahoma is a great idea. So come join us for thousands of miles over the next year, from Broken Bow to Black Mesa. This is the Oklahoma Road Trip.
Odessa, the Last Goodbye Tour 2023. Odessa, live in concert in Oklahoma City. With special guests, Bob Moses, Toki Monsta, Quarter, and Olan. Paycom Center, October 12th. Get Tickets now at livenation.com. The album The Last Goodbye is available everywhere. For more, visit odessa.com.
The hopes are when folks drink our water is that they'll drink it for a few days and find out the difference. They'll start feeling better because there's been no chemical in our water. There's a list of good things that we have. We don't have any bad things in it. I see the future of Divine Water as being worldwide, which will bring outside dollars into the state. It means a lot to me because I started it, I guess, and our family started it.
Welcome back to the Equipment Room Exchange. We were just discussing a very powerful situation here with our guest, Zach Berger. Zach, once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Zach was telling us about a birth defect that he was born with and how he's used it to inspire others, and he's used it as a source of power for himself. And, you know, coming here to Oklahoma State and being in a journalism program, and especially being on the broadcast TV side of things, you know, in your first year, having your own show, becoming an anchor, how proud are you of events like that?
Oh, yeah, I'm super proud of it. I mean, even past what the accolades are, I mean, there's just a whole mental battle with it. I mean, I always think I have, like, not like kind of a speech impediment in a way, right?
Of course.
I was gonna say stutter, not stutter.
Yeah.
But like I always know, at least I hear myself. I feel like I sound different, and I feel like I mean, it's definitely a struggle.
Of course.
Even if when I'm not in pain, like, you know, you're talking a lot, it gets in your way.
Yeah.
And so just the fact that I can get over that mental block and still succeed and still, because that's a big thing coming into college. You know, no one knows.
Of course.
And you know, you're no longer with the people you grew up with.
Yeah.
And so no one knows. And I mean, it's not something I'm just gonna be like telling people, hey, you know, I got a birth defect.
Right.
Hey, it's me. Because that was a big thing too for me going into college. Like, I just want to live my life.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, it's still gonna be with me and it's still gonna be a part of me. And charity's still a big important thing in my life. But I'm also here to live my life, and it's not something I'm just going to lean on my entire life. I want to have a successful career just being Zachary Berger, not, you know, Zach Berger with, you know, the birth defect who is just getting handed stuff, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So it's been a big thing for me just to be able to come in here fresh slate, no one knows anything, and still prove myself and be able to succeed and have shows and win an anchoring position where you're talking fast. When it's something that I can sometimes just struggle with at a basic level.
Of course.
So I think the big thing with me that I've been proud of is just with it being a fresh slate and no one knows, no one has, well, now people can know, but
Of course.
no one like looked at it differently.
Yeah.
And no one took a different route because of it. I could still just be me, and for who I was, I am now here.
Yeah.
And that's been a really big thing for me. I've never felt it before where it's got in the way about handing stuff. I feel like I've always been treated right, but you just never know. And so once again, for something that has so much speaking, it's been a test, and it's been a good test, and it's helped me prove to myself that I can do this, and that I can continue and make a career out of it, because it's what I love to do and what I want to do. And this has been an amazing first step.
Yeah, and I think you've done a fantastic job, by the way, because, you know, is this the first time that you've, you know, heard the details about this? First time I've heard the
It's the
details
first time
about
I've heard
this.
the details.
So, I mean, it's
I've
like,
heard about it before, but never the details.
so, I mean, it's very impressive. Like, nobody really knew, and yet look at what you have done here with such a big thing that could impact you. I mean, you were a TV anchor for both semesters last year. You were an anchor for 3 sports shows last year. You've got your own show now. I personally think it's extremely impressive what you've been able to pull off, and that's just what I wanted to add.
Not
there.
only impressive, but inspiring.
Yes.
And, you know, I hope that, and I know people can't, you know, at home can't sit here and look you in the eyes right now and hear this story, but I hope that you've inspired the viewers as much as you've inspired Jacob and I here. And if you have inspired them, where can they go to help you find a cure?
Yeah. So to, you know, to either donate or just to learn more, because that's also a big thing with Zach Stack. Donating, obviously, to fund research is a big thing, but also just to be informed, I think, is a big deal. because a big goal of mine when starting it was people. A lot of people. I mean, I bet y'all didn't. When I said lymphatic malformation, don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So something just that can be informed. So yeah, our website might have to update it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, gotta update it a little bit. Maybe some old pictures on there. But no, the website is www.zacsattack.com. So that's ZACS attack.com.
All right. Well, make sure we will take a stop at Zach's Attack on our way home, the website at least.
Yes.
And we hope all of our viewers, you go and you learn more, because the most important thing you can do is educate yourself.
Yes.
But thank you for sharing the story with us, Zach. Of course. On a lighter note,
yes,
because we don't want everything to be all depressing and everything.
Of course.
Let's talk a little bit about the fantasy baseball league that you are a part of with Jake.
Oh, I thought we were talking about fantasy football. We
gotta stop at baseball. We gotta go
take a trip to look at the standings.
Now,
we gotta
Zach,
go
don't feel too bad. Jacob is currently beating the absolute tar out of me. So if it
It's
makes you
not-
feel
it's
better,
not
is
that
it? Last time I had
bad.
checked, it was. Last time I had checked, it was.
I'm only. I mean, I'm up by 35, but I think that's still manageable. I can always just. I could be like the Astros and just jump off a cliff tomorrow,
That's
and
fair.
you go off for like 60, and I get like 3.
It happens to the best of us.
It's happened to me before in this league. So,
But Zach, you have not had the best of fantasy seasons.
been rough.
It has been rough. How much of that is due to inactivity?
Most.
It
hurts a little because I'm a huge baseball person and that's my main sport. But I won't lie. Pretty much all summer, I did not look at it.
Fair enough.
And then someone said something in one of our group chats. I was like, oh, let me check. And half my players were hurt, and so I was like, okay, I'll do fantasy. I'll do a waiver wire.
Yeah.
But all I got to say, I might really suck right now and have the worst record in the league, but every team makes the playoffs.
All it takes is a couple wins.
And
That's all I'm
so
saying.
if I just become a little bit of a beast on the waiver wire to end it off,
if he releases the beast like he does on Anderson, it's over.
But if I pull some good moves, you never know.
That's true.
You never know.
Yeah. But let's move into a fantasy that hopefully you will keep track of.
Yeah, no, big time.
One of the new shows that's going to be coming to Okali TV's networks this fall is going to be a fantasy football show. The draft, well, the players will include the three of us, and Zach is making faces. The players will include the three of us. You'll also see appearances by Devin Bloomer, Landon Green, Peyton Little, Carlos Cortez, and Steven Spears. Yes,
Karen Davis.
and I'm happy to add we have a couple of new faces who will be a part of the league. Some freshmen who showed a little bit of initiative and showed up early. I'm excited for them. Excited for the entirety of the league.
Yeah.
But what I'm most excited for is our live draft show.
Yes.
That's going to be happening September 1st?
Currently September 1st at 6 p.m.
At
now,
6
of
p.m.
course,
That could change.
We've got 12 people that we're all trying to coordinate to get into a live stream here, so that is bound to change. But as of right now, Friday, September 1st, 6 p.m. is our live fantasy draft, and it's going to be so much fun. I mean, we all had experience, but it was under your show that we had an actual live draft party for the NFL draft last year, and we had so much fun with that, so I can't wait.
Now, I have a question.
What is your question?
So, obviously, I'm an avid ERE watcher and fan.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
And so
As should
I
everyone.
was watching last week, and y'all were talking about, or Wednesday's show, right?
Yes.
And you were talking about it that our amazing Jacob is the commissioner.
Yes.
And that Jacob, you said, we're going to boo him, but you said he had to wear a suit.
I did say he has to wear a suit.
And now, my thing is, I've been around Jacob for a year now, and I've never seen Jacob Patterson in a suit.
Jacob, do you own a suit?
No, I don't. I don't. So I'm on every time you'll bring that up, I'm like,
Because
I don't
because
know.
I was thinking about to the awards night.
Because he always goes with the pullover.
He goes with the pullover, which it's a nice look.
It is. It's a good look.
We all wore suits for almost all of us wore suits for the awards night. I was like, Jacob didn't wear a suit. It's like, I mean, he had to have one for prom.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do you own a tie?
I don't know if you want to know the answer to that. No,
I mean, I guess
all right.
Here's the
My
thing.
wardrobe. All right, my wardrobe is about as basic as it could come, and it's
I mean, so is
literally
mine, buddy.
pretty much what I am wearing right now. A whole bunch of OSU stuff, a bunch of sports stuff.
All right,
I do not have
it.
a
Here's what we're gonna do.
extensive professional.
We are going
attire.
to take
suits
him.
won't fit you?
We're going to take,
Yeah.
and then my suits aren't going to fit him either. We're going to take him to Goodwill.
Yeah.
We're going to get you a jacket,
Okay.
a shirt, and a tie.
We can give him a tie for the.
Yeah, we can
I
give him a
got some
tie. Yeah, we've got ties. We'll give you a tie, but we'll get you a jacket and a shirt. I'm assuming you have pants. Khakis?
Yes, I have.
All right,
pants.
yeah. so
I've got pants.
Yeah. We'll have you wear that, and then that'll be his
Actually,
get up
no.
for the draft. That's what we'll have to do.
Okay.
That's crazy. But moving past Jacob's fashion.
Yeah.
Another big thing with this
It's
league
okay. It's
is
okay. This isn't the first time I've been attacked for my fashion.
No, it's not. It really
yeah,
isn't.
yeah.
We'll get back to that. But
we're not going to talk about my fashion anymore.
No, we're not.
Right?
It's rough. It's rough. But that's not the point. The point is this league, and this will all be explained in the draft show and in ensuing weeks. But there's going to be a punishment for the ultimate loser. And because here at Ocali TV we're all about helping out people, charity, talking about stories that don't necessarily get airtime. That punishment is going to be that the loser has to go to the Remember the 10 run here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and they have to run in the Remember the 10 run wearing an I Suck at Fantasy Football shirt. All the while,
I really don't want to get last.
Don't get last. That is more
motivation.
Motivation to not lose.
And what happens for the winner? What does the winner?
The winner gets to, after they wear the I Suck at Fantasy Football shirt, the winner gets to then design the rest of the outfit for the loser.
Is there anything else for the winner? Or does that just?
I was kind of thinking that was just it. We're all college kids. We don't have money to throw in for a pot. But
all right, so I should be aiming for what I normally do: first round playoff exit.
See, that's me too. I usually go regular season champion, first round playoff exit.
Yeah. I'm usually pretty good at fantasy football because I keep up with it.
Yeah, me too.
Because baseball's just too long.
But we're gonna have a lot of people keeping up with it this year. But moving past fantasy football, because we did also talk about on the last show how Jacob here is taking on the role as the producer of Ocali TV's football pregame show. And Jacob, I believe the first episode is tomorrow?
Yes. So that would be August 20. Yeah, August, right? Yeah.
Yes.
August 26th. Sorry.
August 26th.
My bad. My bad.
It's okay, Jacob. It's okay.
August
Long week. We talked about
26th.
it.
Yes, August 26th at 5 p.m. We will be kicking off the football season, metaphorically, because unfortunately
Kicking off. I get it.
Anyway, we'll be having
the
football preseason show. You'll see a lot of familiar faces, including myself, Tyler Tripodi, Zach Berger, and also Steve Spurs.
Yeah,
Steve
he did forget
Spears.
your name.
Sorry.
That's crazy. Can you imagine that? He lives with you and forgot your name.
We've gone through three
you know what?
blocks.
Here's
We've
the
gone
thing.
through three
Here's the
blocks of
thing.
interviews.
I will say,
it's fine.
Zach and I were outside today doing helping out with a project that was being done for Ocali Creative, and I passed these two girls. We were trying to get them on camera, and I'm talking to them, and I was introducing myself. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Tyler," and the first girl goes, "Hi, I'm Abby," and then the second girl goes, "Oh, hi, I'm Abby too," and she turns to the other one and goes, "I forgot your name was Abby for a second." I was like, "Wow, you guys are real great friends, huh?" And the first girl goes, "Actually, we're roommates." I was like, "Wow." You can't even remember your roommate's name, and it's your own name.
I didn't forget it. I just took a very
paused.
dramatic pause.
And I have a comment after the show about the thing we had to go do today.
Oh yeah, we can definitely get into that.
Sorry,
anyway,
folks.
back to
folks.
the preseason shows. That's August 26th at 5 p.m. It's almost a combination of ERE and Man Listen because it's
fair.
Two
That's
of us,
two hosts,
Zach
two hosts.
and
Little combo action.
Steve Spears. We'll also get a lot of action from a bunch of other people upstairs. 1 second, and we'll also get to see a lot of new faces. All right, Zach.
No, I'm kidding. I just was going to say I'm very excited for it this year because, funny enough, I was one of the people who got opportunities last year, but it was a very set hosting list. And so a lot of new people want to help and a lot of new people want to get on camera. And I'm excited under Jacob's reign to get a lot of people opportunities.
Yes, the reign of Jacob Patterson.
I'm excited.
He shall rule with an iron fist.
I love giving opportunities to new people because I want everyone. I want the Ocali TV to be successful. I want the show to be successful.
I've said
I've
said it in each of the meetings. The better that they do, the better that we do, and the better we all look.
Yes.
And I think that's really what we're going for here. And Zach, thank you so much for coming on today because you made us look great.
Yep.
So,
Thank y'all for having me. It was absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for watching the Equipment Room Exchange. We hope you'll tune back in next week.
Great first week from us, by the way. We'll see y'all next week.
We shall. Have a nice night.
We would design something, it was set on the counter, and people was either, if enough of them said, this isn't it never made to the line. Dad was excited that they're all original. They were all designed on Mom's kitchen table, and it gets in your blood after a while.
We're very happy that Pamela and Michael have taken over the business and kept the family going.
We took the business over in 2017. When we found that it was available, we wanted to keep the legacy of family alive, but it was also incredible products that deserved to be a part of Made in Oklahoma's story. We were a part of Made in Oklahoma years ago, and so it kind of grew as Made in Oklahoma grew.
Oklahoma is ingrained into our everything that we did. We've been here most of our life. That's what we entailed our whole business on, was the Oklahoma homegrown feeling.
The Writer's Room is the beating heart of every newsroom. It's a space where the art of storytelling comes alive. Join us for an inside look at the Creative Hub, where writers and creators unite to bring stories to life. The Writer's Room, streaming on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. on Oakley TV. Host Tessa Dorrell takes you behind the scenes and introduces you to the writers and creators that bring stories to life. The Writer's Room, center stage Wednesdays at 2 p.m. on Oakley TV. Pure Skin and Aesthetics is Stillwater's premier medical spa, offering a wide range of services to help you look and feel your best. Our experienced team is led by Dr. Jessica and registered nurse Shelby. From facials to filler, Botox to laser treatments, we have the perfect solution for you. There's never been a better time to treat yourself. We have a special offer of 10% off all new clients when you mention this ad. Book your appointment today at pureskinstillwater.com to learn more.